Yeah, man, I'd like to welcome y'all to the first season of Invisible Plays. We got my homie from Watts, LA representative, Glasses Malone.
Hey, man, appreciate that, man. What's happening?
Man, chilling, man. How you doing, man?
Cooling, man. Just making it happen. Making it look a lot easier than it is, for sure.
First off, I'd like to just thank you for taking the time out to do this interview. I know you real busy, and I just really appreciate it.
Trying to get some new music done, so we got good timing right now. Figuring it out as I go.
All right, man, we gonna get right to it, man. I got a bone to pick with you, bro.
The story of my life. Story of my life.
You already know what it is, too.
No, I don't, because I be doing so much that seems like, I guess it gets under people's skin. So what's this one?
All right, well, it's an old one, but Tupac must die. Why Tupac must die?
It's funny because to me the title sounded poetic. Like the way when you say it now, like that ain't really how you would say it if you was upset with somebody. So even when I heard people here that say the title, I'm like, if somebody did something to you and be like, well, that person must die, that probably wouldn't be offensive. I mean, so even when I came up with the title, I thought it was just poetic. I didn't really, it felt Shakespearean. I mean, John Tucker must die, like a film or something. It was the mind state of the perspective I was getting. It was the mind state of the characters and the people in the car, the perspective I was given. He led kind of a charge on jumping on some people, and they really valued their rep. People around really valued their reputation. And being hip hop is street urban culture personified through the arts or elements like the original folks from New York talk about from the BX. This was me giving a lesson in morality on Los Angeles street urban culture. You know what I mean? Where if you jump somebody, like, it could cost you your life. The title, I didn't really think the title was that bad, you know what I mean? But a lot of people heard the title, and I guess Tupac and dying together just made people feel a little uncomfortable. But I thought I did a really good job of handling it with care. It wasn't because the mind state probably at that point for the people that got jumped on probably would have been like, fuck Tupac or...
Nah, most definitely that's what it would have been. But I mean, for me personally, like Pac was like kind of like one of those guys for me. So when I hear the title, it's like I didn't even listen to the song for like a day or two, and I respect you as an artist. Sure. So when I heard, I'm like, what is this Joker doing? Like what is he trying to clout chase? Like,
no,
like, what's going on?
Same thing happened. Corrupt called me the first day, cussed me out. He was cussing me out, and and respect to Corrupt because he loved me. Like he's been. Corrupt and Das have been nothing but a true ambassador of West Coast hip hop since I changed my life from being in the streets to getting into the music side, the art side. And he was just so disappointed. And, I knew there was no way he could have heard heard the song or saw the video. It's just impossible. It's impossible, you feel me? It's no way possible. And so I just let him, cuss me out, He's somebody I really respect, so I didn't really disrespect him or say. I just let him get it off, and I said, "Nah, you got to look at it." Once he was done, which was like 40 minutes, I was like, "Now you need to look at it," and he said, "Man, this sound like some bullshit." G, I'm like, "Man, you think about who you talking to, Corrupt. Like, do you think I would mistreat somebody, a legendary? You know how much I've been trying to learn about hip hop. I call you every week, you know what I'm saying, to learn something new about hip hop that I'm catching up on. You feel me? So he said, all right, you're right. You have bought it, but you gotta understand this is somebody that's a friend. And I'm like, I get it, but look at it. And about 2 days later, he called me back. He's like, okay, you're right. It's tight. It's tight as fuck. It's like it's hard to, It's same thing for Dre. Dre cussed me out, had me come to the studio.
Dr. Dre?
Yeah, so he had me come to the studio. He lined me up. Gee, man, I'm like, okay. And at that point, same for DJ Quick. DJ Quick was on stage at one of his concerts cussing me out. And I'm like, there's no way they could have saw the content or heard the song to get the point. And, when you making real, true hip-hop that's raw and pure, it could offend people. I would imagine the first time a lot of people heard "fuck the police," they felt uneasy. But the job was done. The people who it should have represented, it did. You know what I mean? It represented kind of culturally how things go around where we from. You know what I mean? In the ghetto. So I thought I did an incredible job of handling his legacy with care. Even how I painted the picture. Like when I listen back to the song, like I probably listened to that song 100 times. And I can't really hear where people was mad at because, you know, it was no disrespect. It wasn't.
It was really just the title. Like I said, man, it was the title. And you know, I understand both sides. Sure. I mean, I understand if I got jumped, it's repercussions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But with saying that, how do you feel about Tupac joining the gang at such an old age?
I mean, let's be honest, like the things that Suge and Dre and even the mob, you know, shout out to the homies from over there, but it's like they made him feel like a part of the family. So I get how that could happen. A lot of people don't want to believe he joined the gang, you know what I mean? But it was pretty obvious he was representing mob. And I mean, the community could make you feel very loved, especially if if people like you. Pac was a likable person, like a lot. He went around the 40s, you know, the Thug Life movement belonged to the Rolling 40s. That was their thing. And they liked him so much, you know what I mean? He wasn't just a guy to me from just talking to the people, you know, Richie Rich or 40 or Be Legit or, you know, Warren or different people that knew him. He was the kind of guy that people liked him. You know what I mean? You probably either loved him or hated him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I could imagine what it was like for when he came home and the mob dudes embraced him. You know, he never probably felt as much, you know, dedication and loyalty to some degree. You know, you become immediately, you have an army at your dispense if you're Tupac in this situation. So I didn't really feel anything. Lil Wayne and Tupac theoretically is from the same hood.
You ever been on the go, stomach growling, but you don't want to settle for junk? That's where Goon with the Spoon turkey sticks come in. Packed with protein, bold flavors, and no artificial nonsense. Just real turkey, real fuel for real hustlers like you. Whether you're grinding, creating, or just need a quick bite, grab a Goon with the Spoon turkey stick and keep it moving. Proud sponsors of Invisible Plays. What you mean by that?
Lil Wayne is from the mob.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so it's like, them dudes are some really dope dudes. Like straight up, like, you know, I know I'm a Crip and they Pyrus, but like all the ones I know are great guys. I mean, I'm sure they got a severe number of assholes, but the ones I know, Term, certain homies, Rob, rest in peace, Drew, different homies over my life, Mikey, Rue, Free the homie, but they just great guys, and you will get around them, and you know, Zabo, rest in peace, and you know, even James and certain people, man, you'll get around them and they'll make you feel like they're a real close-knit bunch of guys, and the love is serious. So I could imagine what that felt like for Tupac, who had just been in prison. You know, nobody really getting him out. He got a double platinum album, you know, on the charts. He's killing, and he's sitting, you know, rotting away in some prison for 3-4 years. So I could imagine the type of loyalty he felt, you know, for them and being down. So, I get how it could happen.
Do you think Tupac, like knowing his background with the Black Panthers, his mother and all of that, do you think he was a studio gangster?
No. I heard that too. No, I don't think. I think Pac was a man. You know what I mean? And I think his goal would be not to break the law for the most part. I think he tried to be a man of, you know, legal precedent, you know, letting the law be his guide. But, you know, again, if you come from the type of ghettos we come from, you know what I mean, you start to realize real soon, a lot of us, that the law cannot be the ultimate judge of morality. You know what I'm saying? The law cannot be the ultimate judge of morality. It's just not going to work out that way. So, no, I think obviously if you rush a motherfucker in the casino, you not playing. And, you know, he went up and handled business.
But he had the mob behind him.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like for me,
I mean,
that was something he should have let them do.
Yeah, but obviously he didn't agree. You know what I mean? And who are we to judge exactly? I'm glad you looked at that. I'm glad you're looking at the graphics to make sure they both going to fire. Look, so no, it's like it's easy for us to judge what Tupac is doing. It's easy for us to judge him. It's so easy. It's like, man, but I think he knew what he was doing. He was a grown man and he was loyal to the people that, you know, that was rocking with him. And I'd be a hypocrite to say I don't understand that. So, I mean, look, if somebody did that to one of my homeboys, even if he a new homeboy, feel me, we probably gonna have a problem. You know what I mean? Because that's just how I rock. And I think that's the same for Tupac. You know what I mean? He come from those ghettos where when you loyal to somebody, you loyal to them. You gonna, you know, stand up and do whatever you got to do to make sure those people feel protected.
Okay. With that said, do you think that we will ever get a Nipsey Hussle Must Die?
For me, no. Okay, so people, man, I've get asked that for 5 years. That situation. Okay, so it's two things. One, I don't know everything that happened in that situation. You know, versus this situation, somebody that was involved told me the whole situation. I didn't get it from the internet. Somebody, you know, that was in the middle of it told me about it. And each situation is different, you know, and I know a lot of people feel like I wouldn't make the song because he's a friend of mine or he's from 60s or, you know, some other silly thing. And it's like, nah, that's just a street situation that went bad. Like, Nip's situation has been voiced. Even, Shitty, his situation has been voiced. What he was supposed to react over was voiced. You know, for years, all we heard was people saying some dude who hated Tupac, he was a hater or he was a loser, and that's just not true. So it was somebody who, you know, to me, their story never got expressed. You know what I mean? Their positioning. I mean, we got, you know, Eric Holder's positioning the whole time. We never didn't get it. You heard loosely, like I heard, what it was over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We didn't get that for, you know, Orlando Anderson. All we got was some dude hated Tupac or somebody put some money on him versus somebody who felt wrong in a different way. So I could never voice it. It would be like I couldn't voice it the same way because it's two guys that their situation and positions have been voiced versus where Orlando Anderson's had been ignored. You know what I'm saying? And it just became like reduced down to nothing.
Okay, so with the Orlando situation, me and you both know why he did what he did. There's still rumors that Puff paid to have Pac hit.
Yeah, I don't believe that for 2 seconds. Yeah, the people, like the homie, rest in peace, was like, nah, that's not what happened. And if he was telling me, he would have just told me the truth. There's no reason for him not to tell me. If he gonna implicate himself or his friends or his family, you know what I mean? Trust me, I don't think he would have a problem implicating Puff to me if he thought it was something. So
you saying his unc is just trying to sell books?
I mean, I think I think Keefe wrote a really compelling story. You know what I mean? And I think that's the point of the story. I think when you write a story, you add pieces to the story to make it more compelling.
But that's a crazy accusation.
I mean, yes, it is. But it is fictional. It's a book.
Oh, his book is supposed to be it's fictional.
Yeah, obviously, you know what I mean, it's fictional tales combined with based off reality. So nah, I mean, I don't believe that. And the fact that they didn't get the money, them wasn't the type of guys you could owe that kind of money to and it'd be cool. Puff just wouldn't be able to. I don't care if they gave the money to some other dude and they never got the money, it would have been a problem. And the fact that it was never a problem, even in real time, you know, they wasn't hammering nothing. They wasn't getting busy. They would have got busy over 7 figures.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have got busy. They'd have risked prison over 7 figures. For sure, Dre, rest in peace, would. For sure, Baby Lane, rest in peace, would have. They would have risked prison. Keefy would have risked prison over 7 figures. So I don't believe that. I think that's part of the story that makes, a book more compelling than just the simple reality of what happened.
Okay, so you've been around the game for a minute. Have you ever been to a Diddy party? Success is a journey. Dress for it with airplanes and hotels. Fly gear for go-getters. Proud sponsor of Invisible Plays. Airplanes and hotels. Stay ready, stay moving.
Yeah, I've been to about 3 of them.
About 3 of them?
Yeah.
Did you see any crazy wildness?
Nah, but I'd probably be the last person they show that to. Because I don't drink or smoke, so wherever that part of the, if that's happening, I probably wouldn't know. But I mean, it was well documented that, people used to get nasty at Diddy parties. It was well documented that that's how people, you went to Diddy parties, you was pretty much going to, get loose.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's really surprising to watch people complain now, but the, word on the streets was always, you go to Diddy party to get loose. So if I knew that and I'm the soberest nigga, breathing air, everybody knew.
Yeah, so you think it's about to be a bunch of Epstein list coming?
I mean, no, I don't think so. Because even the Epstein list wasn't the Epstein list. It never happened. That was more rumors. Mm-hmm. Diddy, listen, Diddy did some things, obviously, that's probably against the law. One of them is buying prostitutes. Obviously, if that's what they're saying. One of them is spousal abuse or assaulting his old lady. Another one is, taking drugs. All of these things are against the law. But again, being a racketeer, or being guilty of racketeering is a push.
Life,
that's a stretch. It's hard for me to believe you can call a John a trafficker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I keep saying this, but his enterprise would have to be rooted in buying pussy.
Exactly.
That's just a bit weird. And
he would have to be Hugh Hefner out here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I do think there are some things that, maybe in the legal standings he may have to answer for, but this is just ridiculous. And at a certain place, America is just chicken shit sometimes. Not just the government, but even the citizens, even humans, you know what I mean? Like, this lack of accountability. Like, Puff should be answering for things he did, but this is...
For sure, not that.
They parading Puff around like he's some real threat to society, like he John Gotti. Like, man, this nigga, nobody's scared of this nigga. Nobody's scared. Like, John Gotti is a real threat. Like, that's a real racketeering monster animal. Feel me? Like, it's some people. Puff is just a dirty old man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, you know what I mean? Again, we got into this space in America where we start letting white people mistreat black people because we feel like we don't agree with their moral positioning. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's something he should be answering for, but this is just silly.
So how do you think the outcome is going to be? Unless they got some more evidence that they ain't told us, I can't see them convicting him 15 to life for buying some pussy.
Well, the trick is this, like, right? Racketeering is more of a conspiracy thought. Trafficking, all of these are more like loosely. A couple of my homies were saying something. They were talking about the Fed's impressive conviction rate. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, listen, the Feds are very much a thorough, organization, but they're not unbeatable. They kind of handicap you. Like, exactly. Puff should be able to make bail. Mm-hmm. Puff ain't killed nobody. Yes, he's threatening witnesses. You can keep a bodyguard. He can afford to have somebody on him all the time. He can pay for that. If it was a man that wasn't a black man, they'd figure out a bail. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But again, and then they starting to play games where they trying to get to his money. So that's how the Feds beat you. And most people take a deal. So with trafficking, they can reduce it down as to something as simple. Like the spirit of the law was to stop people from getting kidnapped and children getting kidnapped and sold into prostitution. The letter of the law could be as simple as the letter of the law can be something as simple as you bought a prostitute in Florida and you flew her here. So it's chicken shit. You know what I mean? And people going for this is chicken shit. It's just, I think it's about somebody being jealous of a man being successful. So, you know, eventually when you hit the top, everybody want to tear you down. And don't get me wrong, Puff did some things to where, you know, people, I can understand people wanting to see it, but some of this is silly.
Yeah, I don't feel like he should get 15 years for none of this.
To me, it's really a case that should carry 8 to 15 years. 8 to 15, right? The fact that he's fighting life is ridiculous. And I don't care if you a girl that went to his party, you know what I mean? I don't care what you was, you just a piece, you know what I mean? You just horrible. Like you was excited to go to that party, and then one day you felt like you could capitalize off of it again. It's Cassie right now is a victim, right? She is somewhat of the victim. But then again, there is a responsibility that has to start being applied to people. Like you can't just get away with saying, oh, I did it for money, and then everybody saying, no, I'm controlling you with money. No, your desperation for money allows you to be manipulated. There ain't enough money in the world Puff can give me that he could take no money from me or fuck me, you know, or sodomize me.
And you just forget about it.
It ain't enough money in the world. But to some people, it's enough money in the world that could allow him to mistreat you as a person. That shouldn't be a crime. It really should be a crime on you. You a sucker. Feel me?
Yeah, I don't feel like you should get paid for that. I feel like either he should go to jail or he should get stoned or, you feel me, some type of punishment.
Sure. And if, again, he's a drug addict, you know, a real dope fiend. Puff is a real dope fiend. Puff is probably is sexual deviant. You know what I mean? He a cuck, but, you know, who am I to judge? But it's like, I agree with you. It should be something he's fighting 8 to 15 years. There's no way he should be fighting life in prison. This is silly.
Have you been watching the Young Dolph trial?
No, I only watched parts of it.
Parts of it? Yeah, they convicted him right on the spot.
The other boy told. They gave him like $800.
Yeah, for $800, man.
$300.
God.
Yeah, that was crazy. He was hurt too. And they knew he was going. You had to know he was going to tell you.
That's why they spent that 50 on his lawyer real quick.
But nah. You supposed to give him 40 cents and pay for the lawyer.
For sure.
You know what I mean? You gave him 500 and 300 and then pay for the lawyer. He telling.
For sure, he telling.
I wonder how much time he got.
The dude that's telling?
Yeah, he got some time for sure.
I don't know how much time he got.
Yeah, that dude is something else. But, you know, that's a tough situation, man. Rappers really got to be careful what they saying to other people on records. Like Dolph is a dope dude, you know what I mean? But you can't over antagonize people. Some people may hold you accountable for the stuff you saying. Some people gonna spend some money. You know what I mean? Some people will blow up your car. It's some people that's gonna get busy over you disrespecting them. And I don't come from that era where you can say what you want to say to people, and long as you say, you know, they shouldn't put their hands on you. If you say something to somebody, if you assault somebody verbally, they may assault you physically.
It's gonna be repercussions.
It's fair game.
Yeah, I feel like just the way he was moving was just totally like, I couldn't believe he was moving like that in his own city where they already hit him with 100 shots.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it wasn't in his own city. That was in like North Carolina.
No, they hit him in North Carolina.
And then they shot him out here. It's like you talking to these people not playing
like
with you.
Like they really coming hard and you just talking.
Why would you antagonize them? Again, it's one of them things where for the life of me, I don't understand some of this. You know, same thing, you know, rest in peace, PnB Rock. But like, I wouldn't go to nobody ghetto with $100,000, $200,000 worth of jewelry.
Step into the future of urban storytelling with American New Networks. We're your source for all original movies, groundbreaking shows, and fresh original music. Each piece forged from the heart of the city. Every frame, every beat, every story is uniquely ours, capturing a real pulse of urban life. American New Network isn't just another channel, it's a revolution in original content. Proud sponsors of Invisible Plays.
And some people want me to say, well, you know, that's wrong. You should be able to go where you want to with anything on. I'm like, that's not true in no level of nature. It's certain places deers don't go.
Exactly.
It's certain places antelopes don't go. It's certain places that elephants won't go because they know what's waiting over there. They know something's starving over there. And I guess we believe as humans we got this ultimate sophistication level, and it's like, no, bro, we really don't. We really primitive, you know, especially when we poor, we primitive. Oh man, like, you know, Club UFC, hella primitive.
I just feel like if you grew up in a urban area, you should already have a mindset of what to do, how to conduct yourself.
But that's why I believe genuinely that it's people asking for it. You can't tell me people ain't asking for it. You can't tell me, like PnB went to that specific place, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of Roscoe's in LA. I've been going to Roscoe's as long as I can remember. That specific Roscoe's is our Roscoe's. Like, if you from the east side, that's the Roscoe's you go to. The east side ain't like the west side. The west side it got a ghetto, but it'll get real nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Not the ghetto, but like you could be 2 minutes into something real nice. So I could see if you went to the Roscoe's on Pico that was there, you may not know the Mansfields are lurking. You know, maybe the schoolyards is lurking. You may not know because that area doesn't come across. Sunset, even Inglewood. You know what I mean? You at the top of Inglewood right there by the bread. You might not get it. Mm-hmm. You know, the one in Long Beach, maybe you don't see it. It's gentrified. But that specific Roscoe's, you know you coming into like a horrible situation. There's people over here doing bad.
But do you think he knew that?
Yes.
So people told him about that Roscoe's.
Well, I know he went with a rapper before from around the way, but nobody have to tell you about that place. If you see it compared to the rest of LA, you know it may be poor people over there. It may be poor people over there. So nobody got to tell me about certain places in New Orleans. I could look around and smell it like, oh, yeah, I wouldn't wear no jewelry over here. You know what I mean? And if I'm going to go over there, like, because I'll go to ghettos, but for sure I'm not going to look like a meal. I'm not going to look like an opportunity. I'm going to look like I can give one, but I ain't going to look like something you finna come up off of.
So do you feel if he would have checked in, that probably would have helped him a little bit?
I mean, possibly if he knew some homies from A7, but my question to a rapper or anybody winning is, why would you want to go around poor people looking like that?
I mean, they're trying to prove a point. He was gonna go back home and be like, yeah, I was in LA in the worst Roscoe's and I had all my shit on.
That's a raggedy point. And I'm tired of people, you know, that come from our elements being successful, thinking that's a point to prove.
I mean, because that's our culture, bro. The tough guy wins in our culture.
Yeah,
even though they lose, but
you roll the dice. You know, sometimes you get craps. You can't do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna win all the time. You gotta be real careful with that. And in PnB Rock situation, it didn't work out for him. You know, and the other dudes got a bunch of time. So a bunch of brothers gone off the streets. You know what I mean? But I just wish, you know, even in Dolph's situation, I wish I was around to tell him, like, hey, man, you don't got to diss them dudes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for sure, if it's going to be a problem, you know what I mean? You know, let's go put a hammer down or something. Let's go do some stuff.
Yeah.
We don't got to rap. We don't need to antagonize him and ask him to bring the energy to us. Like, if you felt that way, let's go take the energy to them.
Especially when you know they got some real ignorant dudes over there.
And they both do. You know what I mean? Dolph has some real... Yo, them dudes was getting, his partners do their thing. They not playing, but, you know what I mean? Like, without the talking, without the antagonizing, like, make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, too much, like, if you talk too much, it's like karma almost feels like it needs to push your buttons. Like, not even just the other people. It's like, you know, like, you'll get humbled quick in this life and in these streets. Like, these streets will humble you. You know what I mean? So, I just don't think a lot of the pop in it is worth it, you know what I mean? Especially when it's that close, especially like inner town. Like that don't even have a real value. You know, rest in peace, Drakeo. Like Drakeo dissing Inglewood, that don't have a real value. That could only come down into a bad situation. That could never go into a really great situation because not enough people in New York. Like I could see with Tupac where the Biggie stuff, this is the whole country. We all have to tune in now because you're talking about somebody 3,000 miles away. That covers the whole country.
Most hoods is having problems with somebody that's right there.
Yeah, but why would you say something about it? And why would you pick that specific, a whole city of people?
I mean, but his crew, I don't know too much about it, but his side wasn't beefing with that side?
Yeah, but sides ain't a city.
So he just the whole city.
Yeah, he got songs talking about a whole city full of people who are prideful about that area.
So you don't know who gonna bring it to you.
Man, to this day, you know what I mean? People got a million rumors, but nobody really know what happened. I mean, you don't even know. And that's the problem when you create so much funk. Like, even your partners don't even know who they get right with. I mean, you don't even know what to do. So, you know, again, some of this stuff ain't really meant to me to be on wax. I mean, like if it's for real, like that's for real, you just go do your thing. But if you antagonize them, you don't know who gonna do what. You know what I mean? And it's inner town, like it ain't even worth the business.
Mm-hmm.
Like I look, if you gonna sell out for a beef across the country, cool. Do not sell out for no cross town beef. You know, Drakeo was so far past that. Like, you know, I could see if he was beefing with a rapper from, you know, Jersey, that's 3,000 miles.
You ain't got to see him every day.
You know what I mean? And it's like more people going to listen to the music. But you talking about somebody right there, you know, only.
Yeah, it's just these two neighborhoods.
Yeah, and city and you is like, Southern California, but if you go to Colorado, nobody will take that back because they got some gangs out there. But like,
I mean, but
you know
maybe,
what I'm saying? All these other states don't have a bunch of people that's
maybe
tuning
he was
into that.
maybe he was taking a note from Chicago and them because they actually made it doing that. They was beefing with their little self, and the rest of the world tuned into it.
Yeah, but you know, you also had in them notes. I hope you had Lil JoJo name. Because Lil JoJo name goes in those notes.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's
about
sad
10,
case,
20 of their names.
Man, that's a sad list. So, you know, if you're going to risk your life for it, I think you could find a much better way to go about getting to your goal.
I heard you say a quote, which I was like, man, you said that gang banging was the best thing that happened to your life.
For me.
Can you explain that?
When the moment calls for something bold, something smooth, reach for E 40 Respirado Tequila. Aged to perfection, crafted with tradition, and made for those who move with purpose. Whether you're celebrating a win, unwinding after the grind, or raising a glass to the real ones, E 40 delivers the rich, authentic flavor every time. Proud sponsor of Invisible Plays. E 40 Respirado Tequila. Sip slow, hustle hard, drink responsibly.
Well, nothing taught me how to be more accountable for things that I do, more accountable for other people. I'm not telling a pitch to be a part of a gang. I'm saying specifically where I was. Glasses also sober. Glasses, it's a lot of things that come into my decisions way before I'm, from 7th Street Watts. It taught me how to be accountable. It taught me how to really be careful with what I say. Mean what you say. If you really got friends, stand up for your friends for real. Don't let people take advantage of you in this world because they'll keep on taking advantage of you. It really did become probably one of the most, if not the most important thing, but also I don't have no kids. You know what I'm saying? There's 1,000 other things that evolved me, and that was that became, now it's probably number 2. The number 1 thing that's the best thing that's happened to me is hip hop. I mean, but it took years, probably to 2019. So it's like, it worked out for me. It finished rounding out a really, a real quality man.
Hey, do you think that gang banging will ever die out?
Not if poverty exists. If poverty exists, it's always going to be, cultures coming together to figure it out and, make something about themselves. We call it tribalism in Africa, right? In Western Africa, they call it tribes. I don't think it'll never die as long as people are poor.
So how do you feel about out of town banging?
I don't feel nothing. It's poor people. They gonna figure it out, Just like New York gave us hip hop, as a way to come together and artistically express our shortcomings. We gave them gangbanging as a way to group together and stick with each other and be down for each other. So it's how you use it. You know what I mean? It could be used to your detriment for sure. Gangbanging could be the end of a lot of people. It's a lot of power to, to inherit. A lot of power to inherit. It's a lot of responsibility. You know what I mean? So it's deep like that.
So growing up, your mother, she was very musically inclined. Did any of that ever rub off on you?
Yeah. I know a lot more records than I should know than I've went to listen to by myself. I know a lot more records than I should know because of my mom.
Like what's some of the records that your mom used to play?
My mom is a huge Cameo fan. My mom used to buy, my mom used to buy so many albums. So back when you buy CDs or records, you know, people would go to the record store. That was a normal place, even before big chains like Best Buys got involved.
And all of that.
Yeah, it used to be a trip to the record store. Well, they buy their records from what you call a one-stop. It's like a distribution that the record labels sell to. It's called a one-stop. My mom used to buy so many albums every week. She would just go to the one-stop.
Damn.
That's like her music catalog. Her music, you know, her collection was insane. The Feds took her first collection. Her first collection probably was over 3,000 albums.
Why would the Feds take her collection?
Well, it took her to jail too. You know what I mean? My mom was a registered nurse, but she was also hustling. And they took her house. They took her music. They took all our belongings. You know what I mean?
How old were you at that time?
Probably 12 or 13.
Damn, how did it affect you?
It made me feel like nothing is permanent. And that can be good, but I think at the core of it is probably bad. You start believing everything don't have to be around. You start treating things like it may not be around.
And how long was she gone?
The first time maybe like 16 months.
Okay, it wasn't that bad.
Last time was 20 years. She died in prison.
Sorry to hear that, man.
It's all bad, yeah.
Sorry to hear that. Did she ever get to hear any of your music? Did she
Yeah. She saw me sign a deal. She got a chance to talk to Birdman. She talked to Mac 10. I got a chance to let her talk to E40. That was one of her favorite artists. She talked to Cam. That was another one of her favorite artists. Yeah, she really got to see her son win, you know, change his life. Because that was one of the hardest things for her to deal with is me, you know, taking on the life of crime. You know what I mean? She didn't really like that.
Did you have your father?
Yeah, my dad was there. Shout out to Good Boy. Yeah, Pops was there. But, I mean, I didn't fall victim to the streets like everybody else. I actually made a conscious choice. And that is what makes my unique a little bit more experienced than a lot of other people. You know what I mean? I'm not a victim of circumstance. Like, I chose it as a way to, how do I say it? Like, at first it was just about making money. You know, and I did have friends from the community, but then as you start making money for a community, it's your right to protect that community. You making money there. I mean, like if you're an American person and you sign up for the military, you feel like a sense of responsibility because you're able to, you know, you have freedoms you enjoy. Well, that's how it is being from 7th Street. It's a freedom to earn money. It's a freedom to people to respect you when you go somewhere else. And you want to uphold that. That meant something to me when it was all said and done, and it still do.
So you're in the streets, right? At what point do you pivot from the streets to doing music?
So I started doing music as just therapy. You know what I mean? This is 2003. I wasn't a rapper in high school. I wasn't a rapper after high school. You know, it took me a while. It was just something therapeutic. I wasn't even a great gangbanger at first. As a gangbanger, I would rank myself as a D+ when I first started.
What makes you a bad gangbanger?
Get punked, let people get away with stuff because you fear they could kill you. Not representing, not letting the sense of pride. I mean, and I would have been a D+. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, nobody could, you know, take much from me, but I probably should have kicked a few people's ass before I came into my own. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really become a B- or a B level gangbanger until I went to jail. Once I realized this was the thing to be scared of and I wasn't scared of it, I went there and was fighting everybody. I came back home and was fighting everybody. And whatever it took at that point, it was good. And that's kind of when I became more of a above average gangbanger to some degree, at least a B level gangbanger where you wasn't going to get away with nothing. You was going to get your ass beat and maybe shot. You know, and that's the same to this day. The last time I went to jail is when I realized it was over. I mean, like, I went to jail probably 10, 12 times, the county at that time.
What's the most time you ever served?
6 months fighting the case.
6
I never
months?
got convicted. Yeah, God always blessed me. Like, he had a plan. But the last time I was going to have to take a year and a day. The judge wanted to put me on parole. And that's only like 4 to 5 months in prison. You know, most of the dudes who been in prison to tell you that's how a year and a day work. They call it a turnaround. You go to Chino and come back. But it would have meant I would have had a parole number and that would have changed my life, you know, being convicted of a felony. And I wasn't even scared then as much as I started realizing, like, damn, like, now I'm locked in. I'm going to have to do this for the next 30 years, you know what I'm saying? And when I found myself praying, I never prayed in court before that. I never prayed when I went to jail. Like it was like, okay, I'm finna come in and just do my thing or whatever it is. Like we finna get it. But the last time it was like I was praying like, okay, you know what? I don't want to go to prison for this. And when God kind of got me out of that situation, that's when music became more of a realistic thing that I was pursuing.
So who was one of the first people from your neighborhood or just from around the area, period, that supported your music?
First person, that's a great question. Probably Maybach.
Maybach.
And my homeboy Ron. And my little brother from the set too. But
what was Maybach doing?
Well, he thought I was tight. He was like, hey, this tight. He was everybody, the homies was laughing. They was like, man, you ain't no rapper. You know what I mean? But Ron was like, he was one of the first people that I played music for. He was like, hey, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? He thought it was dope. My homegirl, you know what I mean? Like they were like the first ones. Diddy was one of the first people supporting me. That's probably the first two.
Diddy, like Puff Daddy?
No, Diddy.
Oh, Diddy.
Deidre, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was Ron and Diddy. They were the first ones.
Okay, so how do you go from your only two fans is Ron and Diddy to signing a deal?
Oh, shit. The producer. Guido the Nose, DJ GLE, aka Gary Ellis. He changed it all. He is responsible because he started to produce me and put me, on the correct type of production, helping me make records, not just songs, not just cool lyrics and a hook and a beat, but these complete ideas. He is instrumental. You know what I mean? He is huge as far as the development of Glasses as a record, as a record maker. And then Big Face and G-Rod. Yeah, Big Face and G-Rod are like instrumental. They were the big difference in, me going from having Ron and Diddy as a fan to, okay, the whole Southern California, the whole West Coast now is starting to say, oh, this dude Glasses is dope.
That's tight, bro.
My older brother Pooh too, he was there pretty much the whole time too. But I'm thinking you're talking about people outside of us. But yeah.
So from that, you go to the song Thuggin', which got like 2 Grammy Award winner artists on there. I'm gonna let you go ahead and explain that.
Black Voices, Black Stories, one epic event. The Black Effect Podcast Festival returns April 26th. Don't miss the culture, the conversations, and the energy. Get your tickets now at blackeffect.com. Proud sponsor of Invisible Plays.
Oh, with Dot and Mike. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar and Killer Mike. People I just been friends with. Shit, I was friends with both of them before they got a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Shit. It's funny, I've been friends with them long enough and neither one of them had a Grammy. So they was just the homies, you know what I'm saying? And it just happened that way.
Did you pick both of them to be on that song or it just happened like that?
Honestly, I made that song for Scarface. It was supposed to be me and Scarface. But Kendrick heard the song before I ever sent it to Scarface. And I sent him 2 songs to jump on. He asked me to send him some music. Like, he was like, man, I'm going to get on something. And he sent some music. And I sent him 2 ideas. And he liked Thuggin'. And then I put it out. And I just was watching Mike talk to like some politician or somebody on CNN that was covering politics and how he was just getting at him. And that I asked him to be on the remix. And he was just like, I got you. He knocked it out. I think at that time he liked Dot too. He was feeling Dot. He was feeling Kendrick. So, it was like, oh, this is my boy Glasses, and I like this dude coming up. You know what I'm saying? So it made sense.
Speaking of Kendrick, we all know he just had the song of the year pretty much.
Yeah.
And like how was the atmosphere in LA when that dropped?
Oh man, it was over. You know what I mean? Like he won the most important battle in rap music history. Probably the biggest battle in rap music history with the biggest song in battle rap history. you know, you would have thought I wrote the rap. how great I felt, and I was just so proud. You know what I mean, I was so proud, man, because this moment has been simmering for so long, and you know, a lot of people felt like Drake was just some superior, you know, force. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that's not. He played with this one. This boy gonna cut his head off. You know, we used to always say that. And sure as shit, he cut his head off. I was just proud, like, you know, they still ain't got over it. You know what I'm saying? They still talking crazy, and it's like sometimes you gotta take your loss.
Yeah, I just seen. I don't know if you familiar with Top 5 and Aiden Ross. Yeah, they just was talking crazy, real greasy.
Yeah, and it's like we ain't gonna do all the same talking, but the reality is he lost. Ain't nothing nobody could do about it. And if you do something about it, you know, everything that people do got consequences. You know, I'm sure they cool with, you know, they cool with the consequences. So you know, it's gonna play out how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, that's gonna start some real, like, if they touch K-Dot, that's gonna start some.
They don't even got a chance to touch K-Dot, and it's not even them touching Dot that I'm worried about as much as other people. You can't even touch Q. You can't even touch L. You can't even touch J3. You can't even touch Soul. You can't touch Rock. You can't touch, if you touch anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, you will unite something that you ain't never saw. You will unite something that you seen tear the city down. And we love ours. Even if we arguing, we love ours. I mean, so we gonna, and they all know, you know, they all know we going all out for ours. They not crazy. You know what I mean? And trust me, you know, while Dot is not untouchable, he's the hardest person to touch. You'll realize how much easier everybody around is to touch than you could imagine. I mean, so it's just, you know, you can't really give words to people because, you know, that dude thugging like all of us thugging. So, you know, if that's what they want to do, shit, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And you know, nobody gonna argue about it.
How you feel about all of the record label execs quitting and they just dropped probably 20, 30 artists?
Man, it's a tough time in the music business. You know, it's hard to have a record business when records ain't for sale like that. So, you know, business got to switch, and it's a great time to be an independent. You know what I mean? It's going to be a lot of really smart, really talented people available. So, like, if you got an independent company, if you're an independent artist, it's some people out there that you can access, man, that you may have not had no action at 12 months ago that could really change your life. You know what I mean? So, you know, again,
what you mean by that?
Because now those people don't have nothing going on. They don't have nothing but time. They're trying to figure out how to get some money. They could take side jobs. There's a lot of brilliant people that ain't in the building no more. That wouldn't have worked with you 12 months ago. Now they out there. So, you know, you better really start doing your research on who is what and what they do and what you need, and start reaching out. You know, it's Instagram for a reason. Getting them people DMs. You know, stop hitting them girls and you know, go hit one of them execs that got laid off, and you know, start figuring out what you got to do. You know, it's a great time for hip hop if you're an indie, for sure. You know, you have action.
So, being an indie, I know that like the streaming services is sucking up like all the money. How would you, what suggestion would you give as far as going indie?
I saw an interview with Ice Cube, man, and he was saying right now in the game you got to be really creative. So I would tell a indie artist and a upcoming hip hop indie artist, get really creative. You know what I mean? And look at what the parameters are for what you're doing. You know, if it's putting music on streaming apps or sound, start really getting creative. Stop walking to the crosswalk. Stop doing it the way you think it's supposed to happen, and figure out how to get right there. It's right across the street. You know, don't worry. You might have to risk getting hit by cars. You know, maybe police could see you and give you a ticket. You know what I mean? But you're gonna have to take some risks, like, you know, all the pioneers in the '80s version of hip hop records had to. So get really creative. I really understand what Cube is saying by that. You know what I mean? More than ever before.
Do you think you shouldn't put your records on the streaming platform and just go straight to your own website? Or
I think you can do whatever you want to. I think you don't have to play by no rules now. So you can go to Spotify. I mean, Spotify got a lot of exposure. I think you just got to get creative. You know what I'm saying? You really got to get creative, dog. You could do anything. You don't got to put it there. You could do 1,000 things. You got to open up your mind. You know what I mean? If you want to be in this, it's time for new creatives to really push the boundaries and get really creative with what we do. Mm-hmm. And there is no rules. So you could use the benefits of the work Spotify already did and the millions of people that's already on their service. Same for Apple Music, or you don't have to. But have a plan and get really creative with what you're going to do. Because, man, you can... I was struggling to believe that an artist can go gold today independently. Because really, an artist never really been able to go gold independently. Distribution has always been controlled by some most powerful, already predestined industries. But, man, it might be the time. People can get right to you. We're going to have a small little window, and that window opened up. You know what I mean? To really go out here and make something incredible happen.
Hey, one artist that's really been creative? I don't know if you up on him or not, but Lil Russell.
Yeah, Lil Russell. I'm up on Lil Russell.
Yeah, he doing the shows in his backyard. And
it's funny, bro. I had that idea
crazy.
7 years ago, 8 years ago, and people thought I was crazy. That's a brilliant little dude. Mm-hmm. Brilliant little dude. Brilliant.
What stopped you from doing the shows in your backyard?
Nobody believed in it, so it would have been me putting it together by myself. And at that time, I think I had been I became dependent on people helping me versus how I was when I first got in the business. But everybody thought I was crazy. I was like, this'll work. So that dude is brilliant. His business and marketing is bar none top tier. You get cracking.
All right. You got YSL Woody. You got 6ix9ine. Like, after they told, they was able to come back to wherever they was from and be accepted. Do you think it'd ever be artists like that in LA?
I don't think 6ix9ine go back to Brooklyn and be accepted, and I don't think Woody is okay there. I don't think he hanging on the block and people seeing him. I think their lives are permanently changed, and it should be. If you lack accountability as a man to stand accountable for your own actions that are against the law, and you decide to inform the police on somebody else's situation just to avoid your own accountability, you should never be accepted back in the community. And I don't think they ever will. Same for Gunna or anybody else. You're not supposed to. You know what I mean? It's unmasculine. I hope, I hope their kids call them rats. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, be a man, take your own stuff. Stop trying to weasel out of your own accountability, especially if it means you got to throw another person under the bus.
Do you feel Thug got a chance to beat this case?
I mean, like I said, racketeering is such a simple charge. You know what I mean? Maybe he beats the other charges, but if racketeering is so simple to prove, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Hope the best. I know he looked clean and he looked healthy, so I'm happy about that. It was a lot of times he didn't look healthy, so at least he now he know exactly who's who. So if he does come home, he know who to never deal with again in life. So hopefully he take heed if he does come home.
Have you been paying attention to Dame Dash lately?
A little bit, not really as much.
Yeah, he teeth fell out when he was.
Yeah, I saw that.
Going at some people and
him and 50 Cent was arguing.
Yeah. Like you said, it's crazy how we talk down on ourselves in a situation like that. Because for me, I feel like Dame Dash, like he's not broke compared to us, but compared to his constituents, he's broke.
I don't know how much money he got. Dame might got some money and he might not got some money. But you know what? Like, Dame is $1 billion mind. So even if he only down to his last $1 million, he'll figure out how to get another $100 million. Dame one of those type of guys. Like, yeah. When I first was going for my first round of people trying to offer me a record deal in 2007, I met Dame. He was a little distracted. I didn't take it personal. But he's a real sharp dude, so I'm sure he'll be all right no matter what's going on.
Do you feel like Jay-Z was hating on the sale of the Reasonable Doubt?
I don't know if I would use dislike as much as I would imagine Jay-Z would like to get his, complete debut back, you know what I mean, by itself. And again, I understand Dame being just as vested in it because it's his first release as well as a owner of Rockefeller. So I kind of leave that stuff to them. You know what I mean? They know each other, and I just wish that they figure out an amicable solution, that in a perfect world they had figured out and moved past his silliness and at least be cordial. But, they don't have to honor my childhood, who was Glasses.
I mean, I feel like Jay could just cash him out and just walk away. You won. Cause the money, the $10 million ain't nothing to him.
I don't know. I don't quite know, neither pockets. I'm sure Jay got enough money, and I'm sure Dan could get some money, but more than that album, I just wish they find a level of peace.
Nah,
again,
for sure.
For all our childhood's sake,
for sure.
These are the guys that inspired us to really make us believe a lot of other things could happen in this life. And it definitely is a fracture in Black America when two brothers, especially as powerful as that, don't really, they ain't at peace. But, again, I'm from a Crip gang, so how can I really argue with that? People just, I want the best for them. I want the best for me. I want to look at them and really feel like they cordial and just remember my childhood for the greatness that it was. But, they'll find their own solution.
Growing up in Watts, what rappers from Watts was you looking at?
Cam.
Peace Treaty.
Yeah, Cam was the one.
Ain't Dub C from Watts?
No, Dub C from 111. He from South Central.
Okay.
Cam. It was a cat named Kill that was dope when I was younger. We used to jam his stuff. Bronco from Fudgetown, he was dope. Kiki Loco, not from Watts, but used to be in Watts. I'm a huge fan of niggas off the street, True Blue. Coolio is from 118th. That's the next street over. You know what I'm saying? So, Cam is one of them guys. Cam is like, to this day, that's like a guy walking the earth for me. The Bay Area gangbangs.
Okay, look, the reason why we don't think it's gangbanging is because just because you wearing red, we not gonna get on your helmet.
That's not really gangbang. Like that's like in the 60s or 70s. Like gangbanging is all community based. Crips beef for Crips, Bloods beef for Bloods. It's the same thing. I always tell my homeboys, from Hunters Point all the time, I'm like, y'all gangbang up here, bro. When I'm up here, this is gangbanging. Y'all doing the same thing. Y'all hanging out, y'all busting on people, y'all stick together because where y'all live. Same thing.
I guess I could see it like that, but it's just the world got a certain view about gangbanging. Like that's why I asked, like,
sure.
do you still get hit up? Like you ain't getting hit up. Well, I guess a person might ask you where you from.
I probably got hit up in the last 6 months for sure. Yeah. Somebody didn't know who I was. They're like, where you from? I'm from 7th Street Crip. Okay, what they call you? Glasses Malone. Oh, Glasses Malone, the rapper? Sure.
Oh, so they just want to know if you with the shit.
Sometimes a nigga don't know until I say who I am. You know what I'm saying? And shit, it's still 7th Street.
So what happened if they tripping then?
Shit, it's gonna be a squabble. We'll get to it. I mean, I ain't really changed like that. I don't really believe. I'm everything that I wanted to be. I'm not nothing people forced me to be. I could not gangbang today. My homie's gonna love me the same, but I actually am proud. I'm proud of the direction I'm treading for my community. You know what I mean? Same thing with a K-Dot, same thing with a Snoop. You proud of the direction you tread for your community. Like it don't mean just because you from a Crip gang, you have to steal purses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't have to steal purses. You could just actually have a job. It's homies that got a job. It's homies that went to college. So it's all our job to keep making our community look good and never look like a sucker.
Okay, so my crazy gangbang experience, have you heard of the Imperial Crips?
Imperial Crips, no. Imperial
like
Courts?
On Imperial.
Oh, IVCs, yeah, Imperial Village.
Yeah, so me and my partner, we had a magazine back in the days, and we went over there and we was interviewing them. Interview was going good. Sun was going down. We was in the want to see a dead body alley. We interviewing them. Everybody telling their stories about how they got shot. You know what I'm saying? They was funking with dudes at the skating ring and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, wait a minute. Where was you at Imperial and what? You remember? Was it closer to Watts or was it closer to Inglewood?
I think it was closer to Inglewood.
Okay, so yeah, it's the IVCs.
Yeah, they street is a dead end. When you go down that street, it's a dead end.
Maybe that's IVC. Maybe because it sounds like the PJs too, Imperial Courts, but they wouldn't call themselves Imperial Courts Crips. That'd be IVC. Okay, go ahead.
So everybody telling their story about how they got shot or whatever.
Whatever they been through.
Yeah. So the last dude, he telling his story. He was like, he telling his story. It's real entertaining. So I'm like, yeah. So who shot you? He was like, he paused. And then he was like, fuck it. Fuck East Palo Alto. Now that's where I'm from in the Bay Area.
Crying. Oh, I'm crying.
And it's just me and my partner and a white girl publicist.
Sure.
We don't got no straps, no nothing. It's like 12 of them. We already in the alley where the dead bodies is at.
Sure.
So I turned white. That was the scariest moment of my life, man, because I don't understand where he going with this. Yeah. You feel me? So I'm like, oh my God, bro, I done went through all of this in the hood and I'm about to get killed by some bangers in LA.
You don't even know what's going on.
Like, man, so he like, so finally, so when he say that, I immediately look at my partner because I'm hoping he don't trip. Like I hope he don't say nothing. So I'm looking at him like, but he better not say nothing. You feel me? So he was like, yeah, nigga from East Palo Alto shot me. I just, oh my God.
Crying.
I just, oh man. So he finished telling the story, but you know, he ain't tripping. He was like, we had went to a club in San Jose, and that's like close to my hood. Sure. You feel me? So he's like, we went to a club in San Jose, we got into it with these dudes and he shot me. You feel me? Like, and that's the only time he got shot.
So he mad at the
out
whole
of all
city.
of the banging.
So he mad at the whole city.
So
all them motherfuckers.
So I'm like, God, I'm like, man, I'm like, they about to leave us out here, bro. So long story short, they wasn't tripping. You feel me? Like it was all good. But I was like, yo, let's wrap it up. Like, we gotta get out of here.
Fuck out of here. I am crying.
But that's my crazy gang banging story.
Did he know y'all some?
Yes, he knew. That's why he
was
didn't
like one
want
of
to
y'all
say it.
homies.
That's why he didn't want to say it because he was like, I was like, who shot you? He was like, man,
one of your homies. Damn.
Man,
crying.
That was the craziest. And man, you know the Bay Area hella far away.
Sure. They be tripping. I just told y'all they be tripping.
Yeah, they be tripping.
Get your ass shot fucking around up in that Bay fast.
So he brought the gang banging activities to the Bay and they wasn't having it.
Yeah, and it's funny because they got gangs in San Jose.
Kind of farther in San Jose, they got some Crips out there, but it's like what the crazy thing about the gang banging in the Bay Area is in the 80s and the early 90s, y'all came out there,
sure,
but we wasn't having it.
Yeah,
you feel me? Like
I don't think people go out there to colonize communities. That's not gang banging. Like people take their gang somewhere to actually make money off dope. Like, I don't think people don't just we not gangs ain't like Europe or England or Spain, you know what I mean, where they go out to colonize. Like it just really be money. So you don't really try to push your will on anybody as a gang. Like if you don't want to be down, that's your bad. But usually what made a lot of the other towns and different people create gangs is because they start making money with these people. And again, that sense of allegiance, the same reason Pac, started pushing the mob. Like it's people really looking out for you and you feel like that you want to be a part. So I don't it never had a colonizing effect where it's like, I don't think I would want people to become Crips in Oakland or Hunters Point. Like I don't think I care. They the homies, whatever it is, whatever gang they from somewhere. They from where they from.
For sure. So you got your podcast.
Yeah, No Ceilings. Every Tuesday, executive produced by Charlamagne the God, Black Effect Network, iHeart. You can check it out anywhere you download podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you get your podcast from.
What can we expect on that podcast? What's the topic? What you talking about?
4th season, man. It's called No Ceilings because it ain't no cap on the conversation. It ain't no roof on it. So we'll talk about something as regular as what happened to a bum out in the middle of the street, or what happened to the man and the woman that's on the moon right now, or out of space stuck. We'll just talk about whatever. We'll just bring an element of street into it and just understanding and smart. My boy Pete is from Orange County, so he not street, but he understands the streets a lot more than most white people I know. And obviously, I'm definitely going to give you the streets opinion on it.
Who is the coolest person you met in this industry?
Coolest person. Probably Akon.
Akon was cool.
Yeah. Probably Akon.
Did you ever do music with Akon?
Yeah. My first single that ever came out in 2008 was with Akon. I got songs that have never been released with Akon. I'm thinking about reaching out to Akon to do a song now.
He probably will do it too.
Yep. Because once you got value to me, you always have value. So Akon is one of those guys.
That's what's up. Who is the person that you was like, man, I wish I never met him?
Who was the person I wish I never met? I don't think I really had that person. Person that surprised me is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne ended up being hella cool. I didn't think he was ever gonna be mean, but he ended up being great. I don't really had a story of somebody who made me feel like that. Nobody really made me feel like that. I wish I could see some people behavior. You know what I mean? I've seen some people be dicks to other people, not to me. So, but yeah, Lil Wayne surprised me the most. He ended up being one of the greatest people I met. And Akon was hella cool. Everybody else pretty much lived up to whoever I thought they was gonna be.
So, you don't work with hella people. Is it anybody you want to work with that you haven't worked with?
Maybe like Bruno Mars. That's starting to seem cooler to me every day.
Bruno, reach out.
That's starting to be more cooler to me every day. The thought of doing something with Bruno. Miguel. A couple dope people. I did something with Raphael Sadiq. That was important to me.
Oh, man, Raphael Sadiq. That's Oakland legend right there.
Man, who else? I wouldn't mind doing something with I want to do something with the twins from the the twin from the Whispers.
The Whispers.
The lead single, the Whispers, the group based out of Watts, Rocksteady. We begin to rock.
Oh, okay, they from Watts?
They from Watts.
That's hard.
I want to do something with them for sure too.
Man, I think all of those is possible, bro.
Yeah, nah. I've been trying to figure out the right stuff to offer, like a Patrice Rushen, see if it's something she would do.
Okay, you in your bag right now. You taking it. Ooh.
Yeah. Nah, it's a couple people I want to definitely try to get some music with. People who I really feel like I really can value what they do at this point more than I ever could as a little kid.
Yeah, a lot of them people, I don't even, Patrice Rushen probably ain't made a record in 20 years.
I would imagine she ain't never stopped making records. I just would imagine she ain't put them out if she didn't, but ain't no telling. We probably got to look on Spotify. She might got a record out, and they just not marketing, but.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
But that's a dope little bag right there. I ain't really seen nobody want to take it back that far.
Yeah, man, you got to go back that far.
That's hard. But that's all due to your moms, right?
Facts. That's Olivia.
That's
hard.
She
did some. Oh no, somebody remixed her stuff. So yeah, that's who I'm like. That's who I like. I like those. And as far as somebody new, probably like Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Yeah, Bruno Mars is dope.
So I know y'all got a crazy car culture out here. You got any like crazy old schools?
I'm putting together a 1979 Le Cabriolet convertible Cadillac. That's my newest lowrider, and I got a top secret hot rod. We finishing up.
That's a coupe?
That's a 2-door coupe. Convertible.
Oh, it's a convertible? Yeah. That's hard. Have you had any other lowriders?
Yeah, I've had a few.
What you had?
Glass House of 4. A couple other little stuff.
Okay.
Special now means something now.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. What about the raps? You got any projects coming out?
I've been focused this year on putting out my past catalog, so bringing Nightmare on 7th Street to streaming apps and Drive-By Music to streaming apps. Then we got a brand new album that we're going to drop it somewhere probably at the top of the year. We're going to start setting it up early this time around.
Okay, and when you say you dropping your previous catalog on streaming apps, are you going like TuneCore or
Empire? Shout out to Gazi, yeah.
Okay, shout out. That's the
Command
best.
Shift, my boy Jared at Command Shift. That's who all my music is with.
Okay, that's the Bay Area. Yeah, man. I appreciate you for jumping
Thanks
on the
for having
first
me, brother.
season, man.
Yeah, that part right there.
My God, Glasses
honor,
Malone,
brother.
man. We in the
Get it.
building.
Yeah.
What's up?